Today, I will present our clinical outcomes of combined DIP joint arthrodesis and PIP joint arthroplasty for finger osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis of DIP and PIP often occur together. In Japan, implant arthroplasty is usually performed for PIP and arthrodesis for DIP. However, there are few reports on the outcomes of PIP arthroplasty when both joints in the same finger are treated simultaneously. The purpose of this study was to compare the outcomes of PIP arthroplasty combined with DIP arthrodesis to those of PIP arthroplasty alone. The combined group includes 18 fingers of 50 patients. There are 6 men and 9 women. The mean age at surgery was 63.4 years. The mean follow-up was 18 months. The operated fingers were 3 index, 8 middle, and 7 ring fingers. The surgical indication was osteoarthritis in both the PIP and DIP joint with severe pain and patient who wished to undergo simultaneous surgery. As a comparison, the PIP alone group treated during the same period include 106 fingers of 83 patients. The mean age was 64.3 years. The operated fingers were 19 index, 17 middle, 50-50 ring, and 15 little fingers. The mean follow-up period was 50.1 months. Let me show the surgical procedure. DIP arthrodesis was performed through a dorsal approach. Screw fixation was done in 40 fingers, wire fixation in 4. PIP arthroplasty was performed using the self-locking finger joint system by Nakashima Medical Force. We used the dorsal approach through an extensor tendon split. The post-operative protocol was almost same in both groups. The DIP and PIP joint were immobilized for 1 week, followed by active ROM exercise. Post-operative evaluation was done in terms of pain, ROM, and bone union in DIP joint. Arc of motion in each joint were compared between pre and post-operation. Also, post-operative arc of motion was compared between 2 groups. Result: BAS score improved from 7.7 to 2.2 in the combined group and 6.0 to 0.9 in the PIP alone group, both statistically significant. All DIP fusion achieved bone union. Changes of arc of motion were listed in the slide. DIP arc was significantly decreased by 8.5 degrees even in PIP alone group. PIP arc was significantly increased post-operatively in both groups about 70 degrees. MP arc was also significantly increased in both groups. When we compare the post-operative arc of PIP and MP joint between 2 groups, there are no significant difference. Here is a representative case. A 53-year-old woman underwent PIP arthroplasty and DIP arthrodesis of the index finger. At 1 year follow-up, PIP joint ROM improved from 50 degrees pre-operatively to 80 degrees post-operatively. The BAS score improved significantly from 6 to 0. In combining PIP arthroplasty with DIP arthrodesis, potential advantage is that DIP arthrodesis may shift the flexion force of the flexor digitorum profundus toward the PIP and MP joint, possibly enhancing PIP flexion strength. The main disadvantage is greater surgical invasiveness. Post-operative swelling may increase resistance to flexor tendon grinding, which can make rehabilitation more difficult. In addition, the PIP implant can make DIP arthrodesis technically more difficult. The self-locking finger joint system we use for PIP arthroplasty is a surface replacement type in which the joint anchor is inserted first, followed by placement of the head and socket component. Its features include a high bone union rate, less likely to loosen, and easy insertion of the joint anchor along the bone axis. However, the joint anchor may interfere with DIP arthrodesis. In such case, wire fixation was selected. Bone union was achieved in all cases with either screw or wire fixation, and no clinical problems were observed. Regarding PIP motion, Hamano et al. Compared two groups and reported better PIP motion in the combined group. He explained that DIP arthrodesis increased PIP flexion force, then PIP motion improved in the combined group. In contrast, Star-Seber et al. Compared larger group and reported no difference between the two groups. Also, each study used different implant and different approach. Our result showed no significant difference between the two groups. This can be explained by two factors. First, both groups followed the same post-operative rehabilitation protocol, so the additional invasiveness from the DIP procedure did not affect PIP motion. Second, in the PIP alone group, the high prevalence of pre-existing OA in the DIP joint, combined with the use of a dorsal approach for PIP arthroplasty that tightened the extensor tendon, resulted in post-operative degrees in DIP motion. As described by Hamano, the increase in PIP flexion strength was considered to be similar between the two groups. Regarding the limitation, first, this study was retrospective, non-randomized study conducted at a single institution. Second, the number of cases in the combined group was relatively small, compared with the PIP alone group, which may have limited the statistical power. Third, the follow-up period was relatively short. Lastly, the indication for DIP joint surgery was based on surgeon's discretion, which may have introduced selection bias. In conclusion, we reported the outcome of performing DIP arthrodesis and PIP arthroplasty in the same finger. All cases achieved DIP bone union and pain relief. The combined group achieved similar ROM to the PIP alone group, suggesting that simultaneous surgery is a good option when both joints are painful. Thank you.